What's up, Pilo?
Yo,
Sut.
here we
got us
are.
tonight. Sut. Late notice. I hope you don't get struck by lightning this time.
I was about to say this is my spot.
It was.
This is my spot.
We heard from God that night
one of
in
the
that Chili's.
greatest moments into the Top Talk history, and I'm just glad that Sutton made it through it.
I'm just glad I'm back for another round because I was close to not.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It literally was the coolest thing I think that's ever happened. Lots of people in the Twitter space I can see. Y'all let us know if you can hear me, Sutton, and Bump. It's been a while since we've done a live. And I'm using a different cord to connect to the board, so it could totally not be working. You can only hear me. So y'all let us know in there.
As soon as we get all that figured out, we can get to rolling full fledged. But I wanted to go live tonight. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go live tonight because there's just too much to talk about. There's too much for me and Pilo just to handle by ourselves, I think. And we needed to bring on some expert advice. So that's why Trey is here. And
thanks.
yeah, and I hope that other players that are out there that want to chime in, just, Patrick will get into how you can do that. But you can also comment in different ways. You can comment through, I believe, Patrick, through Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, just in like a message.
Yep. Yeah, we have we'll throw it up on the screen there. You can, so if you're scared to get on and let your voice be heard, you can just send us a chat. We'll throw it up there. But yeah.
Okay, looks like X has chimed in, and we are good to go as far as X is concerned.
Yep. Yeah, Cloverleaf let us know as well over on the space. So he said we're good to go.
Okay, Clover's in space. What about Facebook and do we have anybody over there yet? Okay.
It should be good.
Got you. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. You want to hit it?
Yeah, let's do it. As I'm chewing on candy over here.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Top Talk
Live.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of To the Top Talk, brought to you by Yingling Flight.
Hey.
Got the hat right here.
To
the Top Talk is the original and longest running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this episode on, Pilo?
Monday, May 26th.
From beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi, here as always with your break from the high resource for propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, Jason Bailey. Joining me now, the one and only Patrick Lowry.
Hey.
And the hit king, Trey Sutton.
Big time.
Yay.
Yeah.
Great. So I really appreciate Sut joining us tonight. But before we get started, we are brought to you by Yingling Flight. Yingling Flight is a premium light beer brewed by DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, the oldest brewery in America. 95 calories, only 2.6 grams of carbs, 4.2% ABV per 12-ounce serving, crisp, clean, refreshing taste. Now available in 12-ounce slim cans and screw top 16-ounce pints. Pick up some Yingling Flight today. Right? This is a perfect time to pick it up. And if there's ever a weekend that you probably wanted to go light beer, this will be it at the Hattiesburg Regional, right? We let everybody know just a second ago, Pilo, how to get on the X platform, how to make your voice heard, both literally and figuratively if you want to type it out. So for those that have just joined us, run through that one more time, please.
Oh man, I'm dying of these comments already rolling in tonight, man. Y'all are on fire. So we're live on Twitter, X. We're also in a space. If you want to join the Twitter space, join that, and then eventually in a little bit we're gonna open it up where if you want to speak, you can request that and we can make that happen. So,
and if anybody knows how to get Nitro on, I would love to make
It ain't happening tonight.
that. Okay. Okay.
He's gonna need to come in studio for that.
Okay. We can make that happen too. We can definitely make that happen. I'd like to please, if you guys could go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hadn't done a lot on there lately, but we're going to, especially when football gets to back rolling again. That's where these live episodes are really going to come in handy. But if you can go to that YouTube channel, comment, review it, it really helps us out. And then subscribe. What happened since the last time that we recorded? Well, we had the SBC Sunbelt Conference baseball tournament. Southern Miss, of course, is hosting a regional. And I have begun to run and hydrate before this weekend starts because you're going to need to do that. But everybody that is here, of course, we're going to recap what happened. And of course, we're going to get your thoughts on what went down, how you felt about that. But just a few more topics that you can feel free to hit on. Did Troy get a raw deal, right? Being left out altogether because we're all in the Sun Belt Conference. I have my opinions about Troy, but, at some point, maybe it's good to have more. I don't know. Did Coastal deserve a higher seeding? I think they did. I think they kind of got a raw deal there. USM is the 16. We did a poll a week or two ago about that. Would you rather be a 16 or a 2 with a better looking road, a better looking path to Omaha? Montgomery, Alabama. I've been outspoken about this. I love it, right? But as the Sun Belt tournament host, yay or nay? Do you like it or not? RPI. This is something Trey brought to our attention, or at least my attention earlier. The actual formula for RPI. Is it the best metric to use? And has the SEC kind of cracked the code there with scheduling? What did you like about USM in the tournament? The path to Omaha starts this weekend. What do you think about USM's chances? And are we happy with the teams that are in the regional? Just all of that and more if you want to comment about that. I'll open up to you guys real quick as far as those questions are concerned. I'd like to start with Montgomery. Have either of you been to the tournament in Montgomery?
I've not been over there.
Okay. Nope. From an outsider's point of view, what are your thoughts?
Looks like nobody's there.
Nobody's there. The field looks bad. I don't know.
There's plenty. I'll tell you what, it's a really big stadium. It's bigger than MGM would be. And my argument against people saying, let's do it in Biloxi because there'll be so many more people there. Southern Miss takes people no matter what. So I think like the same people, maybe some more, but
we do. But
there is also a ton of people in that concourse that is shaded, something that MGM does not have.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. The concourse, I mean, the beer line was like 100-something people long, right? So there were lots of people there when we were there. When we're not there, there weren't a lot of people there. But I mean, at the Pete, I don't care if it's another game at 9 a.m. that's not Southern Miss. There's not 4,000 people there, right?
No, there's not. But I do think, I mean, we had more people there at the end of the week just because of what it was. And we had more people than anybody else at the beginning of the week. I guess my thing is there's going to be more of our people there at the beginning of the week than there would be in Montgomery. I don't know.
Here we go. Destiny's already chimed in. Yes, USM people travel more no matter what, but why should we have to drive 3 hours? It's in Troy's backyard, and they bring nobody.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I made that point. I hopped on with the Sunbelt Syndicate, and they're asking me about it, and I told them I love it. It's right there next to it. The hotel is awesome. Everything's walkable. There's plenty of things to go eat and drink. And my son's 8 years old. He had a great time. It's more affordable than Biloxi. Honestly, those hotels can get outrageous. Try to stay at the Beau Rivage on the weekend. What are you dropping there? $400 a night, right?
Let's stay at the Red Roof Inn.
Well, I've got a wife. But anyway,
my favorite idea is I wish there was some way that they're not going to do it, but I wish there was some way to rotate it between like the top 3 average attendance on site, like us, Lafayette, and Coastal. I'd go to Coastal before I'd go to Montgomery. I don't know. That's a long drive.
Did you guys watch any of the Conference USA tournament? It was at Liberty.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
The broadcast was, I don't know what cameras, it must be Liberty and all their money, but their broadcast was incredible. It was like in 1080. It was.
Yeah, they had like guys walking out to the mound with cameras like they do on big league games, and
yeah,
I was impressed with that.
Yeah, cool. It's like, where was that all the years that we were? I guess Liberty coming in brings the money. I don't know.
Stepped up their game for sure.
Yep.
And I guess we can go ahead and get into what happened in that tournament. But before we get started with that, quick PSA for the Podfather. I hope they have a great crowd Friday night. But the Hub City Comedy is planning the 15th anniversary show for June the 6th at the Fat Cat in downtown Hattiesburg, and I've been planning on going. It looks like Southern Miss is going to have that late game on Friday, so I hope that I get a chance to do both of those things. But also, if you can't get tickets, everybody can't get tickets. I know they can't because they're all calling my phone asking if I can get them tickets. If you can't get tickets, and you want to do something in Hattiesburg on Friday night,
it would be the next Friday, not this coming Friday.
Oh, it's not. So it's June. Okay. Got
yeah. This Friday would be the 30th.
You're right.
It would be Super Regional Friday.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, that's even better. Unless we somehow host a super, then we'll be having this conversation again. Yeah. But so what do we think about the tournament? Overall record now 44-14, 24-6. I don't know if anybody saw that coming a month ago. I didn't. Made it to the championship game, came up a little short. Lost to a really good team in the finals there, but had some good games before that. So Texas State, we'll go all the way back to the very beginning of that. Won this one 9-1, scored in every inning, but two of them that we batted in. Middleton showed out. He goes to 10-1 on the season, 7 innings. Sibley finished it off. I thought Sibley's second performance in this tournament was maybe the reason that we won that game. He looked fantastic. Texas State threw 7 guys. Hitting wise, we had 14 hits. Jake Cook is probably going to be drafted now. 2 for 4 with a homer. Nicky Ballgame 2 for 5. Joey Urban 2 hits. Higdon 3 hits. The portal was good to us. Stockman 2 for 3 with a double and 2 runs. First game, take it back to that, Sut. How are you feeling after game 1?
I mean, I don't know. I felt like going into the tournament, we had to. Because we were all thinking about hosting at that point. For me, it was kind of like we got one out of the way because I felt like we had to win at least 2, and then even then probably weren't feeling super about it. But it was slid my laptop there. For me, it was kind of. We're better than them. We should beat them, and it was kind of a got one out of the way feeling. So yeah, that's really like I felt like we should have won that game, and we did. Just like we had 15 times previously at that point, I think.
No doubt. Pilo?
Yeah, I agree. It was good. I know sometimes when you go on streaks and then you kind of change formats and you get into a tournament, maybe if you're not, I guess maybe fully focused or a different venue, you can kind of come out slow. We didn't do that, so it seems like we picked up right where we left off offensively, especially, and of course, pitching. We've done what we've done through the streak. Middleton shoves and somebody comes in to wrap it up nicely. So, one down. Next,
Cross. I'll say another thing. Cross has been really good the last month.
Yeah,
super good. Right.
He kind of went through. He started on the weekend rotation and then kind of had a dip there where he really wasn't very good for about 2 or 3 weeks and got moved off the weekend scene rotation wise, but I feel like he's really kind of found it again, which is why you don't give up on guys who have shown that they can do it in the past.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Pilo and I have talked about it all year, how much we loved him in that middle relief role. I feel like he's a weapon, like as much of a weapon as I feel like Matthew Russo is at first base. I feel like Cross does that in middle relief for us. I know he can be a good starter. I think he can be an elite reliever. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
I like him in that role.
I think that one thing that is good with him is like he can come in situationally and face a lefty or two, or he can come in and give you 4 or 5.
Right.
He has both sides to that in him, which I think Oz likes those kind of guys too. I mean, he has Colby Allen. I mean, he'll come in and finish a game. We've seen him throw 5 in a game. I feel like even though Payne didn't really, he didn't have a great outing the other day, but I feel like he's kind of inching towards being that kind of guy too, where if Oz goes to him in the 6 and he's rolling, he might roll with him, or he can come in and get 3 outs. So I feel like Oz likes having those kind of guys that can go short or extend it a little, especially in the postseason.
Yes, and having some experience back there, guys that have done it, right? We'll get through this game 2 recap real quick. Then Pedro, you can get us caught up on some of the comments. But game 2 versus Old Dominion, I was a little nervous about this because we're facing Blake Morgan, right? Who's not at this point? He's been beating us for like 6 years, it feels like. And it ended up being a 10-0 victory, so nothing to it. It took just 7 innings. So headed into game 3 after this win, could not have been in better shape. Had used a total of 3 pitchers. Didn't even have to play all of the innings either game. Matt Adams moves to 6-2. He really showed out. Talk about a guy who's come on strong. You talk about Cross, but I would throw Matt Adams in there as well. 7 innings pitched. Yeah, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 4 walks, 7 Ks, 98 pitches. Pretty good. And then hitting wise, we did get 10 hits off of Morgan in just 5 innings, 14 hits total. Cook hit another homer. He's like, he hit that first home run, and he was like, that's cool. I'm just going to do more of that.
Was it the first one or the second one that was absolutely hammered?
I don't know
which one, but they were both obviously hit over the fence.
Yes.
But the other one of them was
just
a no doubter.
Yeah. So 14 hits on a day for the Eagles. During the streak, you mentioned the pitch, how good the pitching has been, but I might would argue that the hitting has kind of carried us. No matter what the pitching did, I think we were just going to out hit you. Russo 2 for 4, Urban 3 for 4. That's guys is absolutely on fire. He hit a homer. Ozzie Pratt goes 3 for 4 out of that 9 hole with the home run. So 2 games in, only used 3 pitchers, beat Blake Morgan. Now I'm thinking like maybe we won't lose again, right? What about you guys?
Yeah, somebody mentioned Morgan splits against us at the Pete and away from the Pete. For some reason, at the Pete, he's absolutely dominated us, which I didn't realize going into the game. Had I known that going into the game, I would have felt a little bit better about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we swung the bats really well. You mentioned Cook. He's a guy that's got, I think he's got a lot more juice than how he swings it. I think he's still learning what he is and what he can be. That's why I think he needs to come back next year, because he needs to develop some more and hit like 15 next year and then go in the top 5 rounds. So,
hey, while we're on the subject, if you're Cook, what entices you to sign on the dotted line? Is it a round number? Is it what pick? Is it money?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's different for different guys. Some guys have just made up their mind. They're ready to take that next step. Some guys, it may be a number. Some guys, it may be a round. Like, I don't know. It's different for different guys, I think. But he's obviously a guy that I think will get a look this year if he wants it. And
speaking of Cook, I stumbled upon his TikTok today. It's pretty entertaining if you go check him out. He's like live vlogging from the hotel. I was just in my For You page, just kind of randomly come across Jake Cook, and he's at the hotel eating breakfast and showing a bunch of the guys and just vlogging about his day. So it's pretty neat. Check it out.
Is there a TikTok about Marge's ice cream bar.
Oh, here we go. Here's a comment from
it's a
our
good one.
good friend Cloverleaf Mall that everybody knows. Mr. Bailey, first time caller and long time listener. Can you ask Mr. Trey if we should pitch JB against Columbus? Thanks.
Well, we can go ahead and get into that. We can jump right into it. I do want to finish those last two recaps, but we're going to get into that later on in the show, Trey. But I mean, it's been asked, so we can. This is what happens on the live episodes. It's not like a linear thing. It'll bounce. James will call in a minute, and we'll all just have to wonder what just happened.
Oh gosh.
After
Well,
he
he's
gets off.
actually commenting. He said that.
There he is. He's figured out how to text.
Yeah, he said that. Where did he say his son-in-law taught him how to use the chat bar? So, welcome on, James.
All right, Trey. So we went round and round and round, and I think all of us can see both sides of it. But I think you're more on the side of you win game one. That's your easiest path to winning the regional, is to not play as many games as everybody else. And the easiest way to get, I mean, he's as automatic as you can get for us and for most teams in the country. I think we all agree on that. But Matt Adams is really good. Matt Adams is hot. It's Columbia. Lots of things can happen in baseball, but you're the expert. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are you better win game one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like if you feel that good about Matt Adams doing it, then do it. But you better win it. If you do it and you don't win it, I mean, and then there's people that'll make the argument, well, losing game one, losing game two is the same thing. I just don't. I get it, but I don't know. To me, if you got to win game one, that's where I stand. If we do it and it works, I'll be the biggest fan of it in the world. If we do it and it doesn't work, I'm gonna want to throw up. So it's just gonna. I mean, nobody will have a better feel for Columbia and the situation and what needs to happen than our coaching staff will.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they decide, let's go with it.
Let me put it to you this way. So offensively, you're on the team right now. If you hear that, I mean, that's what you're not up there trying your hardest all the time. But is it easy to kind of, I don't know, maybe just not stay as in the at bat as maybe you would if you're like, all right, guys, look, he's put it on our shoulders today. Okay, offense is carrying us game one. We hope that he throws a shutout, right? If you quote unquote throw off, even though I think Matt could be an ace on plenty of staffs, right? But do you put more pressure on yourself in that regard? If
I mean, yeah, no, like I've had that exact thought too. Like that does play a part in it. I mean, as an offense, and like you said, not that Matt hasn't been good. Matt's been really good, and I honestly think my gut tells me that they will consider doing this, and part of that is because of how well Adams has thrown in the last month.
I agree.
If we didn't have a guy who had been throwing the ball really well, this wouldn't even be a question. I don't think.
Right.
But you look, if it happens and that's what they go with, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But I'll say this too, you can't take anybody lightly in this tournament and in baseball. And not that we would be, but
Are you in a rocking chair?
I'm on my
swing.
big swing. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah, I just noticed that might be motion. Sorry, I can stop.
That's okay. I think the majority of the listeners are just audio only, so it's all good.
But I think, again, like I said, I think because of how well Matt has thrown the ball in the last month, and you look at you look at their pitching staff on paper, and it tells you that we should be able to handle it offensively. But then again, every baseball game is its own entity. Like, you never know what's going to happen. We may come out. You could come out and hit lasers all over the park all night, and then be right at people.
Sure.
I mean, like, just weird. Again,
I think that's where the pressure would come in. Is that, you know, if you start off the game and you're ripping right from the word go, and it's 6-0 through 2, if you start JB, you're like, damn it, we should have not started him, right? But if let's say it's 0-0 through 6, and you are hitting it right at everybody, well, now do you burn Colby? Right now you don't have Colby. Now do you go to Cross early? Do you throw all 3 of them in game 1 and then just hope JB throws the best game of his life in game 2?
So, like, if you go into it starting Adams, and it's a close game in the 5th or 6th, like, you've already pot committed. Like, you've got to go win that game. And I feel like, you know, if we came out and put a 4 spot up in the first inning, I think it would be a huge exhale. Not that the game's over, you've got to play 8 more innings, but offensively, I do feel like in a situation like that, whether it's talked about or not, the feeling's going to be there. Like, if you're getting into the 5th and 6th inning and we're in a 2-1 ball game, like, yeah, I mean, the pressure would be mounting regardless because of the situation. But I think there's an added factor to, like, we didn't go with JB. We've got to win we've got to swing it well enough to get out of here, win. And so that could add a little extra to the plate.
No doubt. Pilo, some good comments coming in about this. Can you get us caught up on those real quick?
Yeah. Let's see. Nobody. We have better bats. Matt Adams is better than their pitching. I mean, on paper, yeah, but
on paper, absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree on paper, but the game isn't played there.
Yep. Yeah, their RPI is 65. Again,
no results that have happened thus far matter at this point.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Very true.
Ask Fresno State 2009.
Good point. So let's talk about the Troy game real quick. So game 3, we played 4 games in the tournament. This game versus Troy. You know, we got to sit. We won the first 2 games. So Friday there was no game, so we played this game on Saturday. It was a 2-1 victory. We just kind of didn't lose. You know, that's kind of how this game went. If Troy makes a routine catch in right field, we might not have won at all. Our pitching was incredible, though, I thought. All the runs for the game total were scored in the first inning. Graydon Harris started, and he looked fine. This kid, him and Sunstrom, all these freshmen that we have are going to be so good in a couple of years. You know, they're getting valuable experience right now. Graydon Harris was hitting like 94 on that gun. I don't know if it was a little bit more juiced than the one we're used to, but he was throwing hard. 3 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 5 Ks. Then we talked about Sibley earlier, but he came in and he was just lights out. He gets the win, goes to 7-1 on the season, 3 2/3, 2 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks, workmanlike. And then Colby Allen comes in and shuts the door. Hitting wise, only 4 hits on the day, but Joey Urban had 2 of them. He goes 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So the story of the day, you know, was Jerb and Sibley. Without those 2 guys, we don't win that game. And without Troy's right fielder, honestly, we don't win that game. So, but we got through it. I think you're thinking to yourself at this point, if we can win that game, we didn't do much right at all. And we still came out with a victory. So maybe this streak does continue, right? But going into the finals, you couldn't have been feeling much better. At least that's the way I felt. What about you, Sut?
Yeah, I mean, I think the game against Troy was one of the, like, anytime you go on a streak like we went on, I mean, you got to win that number of games in a number of different ways, I feel like. And like you said earlier, I feel like our bats have really, I mean, if you look at the conference statistics, our offense is up there near the top and nearly everything. So a lot of, not that the pitching hadn't been there, it has, but I mean the offense has really, really caught fire the last month and a half. So it was good to see offense have a little bit of an off day, and you still find a way to win it.
Hey, talking about that offense, going back to the JB thing, does our offensive production this year enter into the deciding factor as far as
Well,
do you throw them
yeah,
back? Because in
yeah,
years past, we've thought about this. We're like, you know what? I don't know. We don't hit that well. This year we smash. So maybe that enters into the
yeah. I think absolutely. But I think it could be used as an argument either way, because you could say, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think the combination of how well Adams has thrown it and uh, how good we've been offensively makes it a legit question this year. Because you could argue, I guess, that say worst comes to worst, whoever throws in game one and you lose game one, I feel like our offense this year, not that we haven't, I always feel like our offense, even in years where we feel like, we've, some of us have wanted to see more maybe offensively or whatever, we've always been, I feel like, the best version of our offense here at the end of the year. But the fact that we've seen what we've seen to this point, you're thinking, is there another gear to kick into here that we hadn't unlocked yet that we could see? And so I think what I see in this team, I think that might be a little different than in the last 4 or 5 years, is that if we were to lose a game early, I feel like we could hit our way out of a regional, which we did at Auburn, a little bit.
true. Yeah. When Dustin decided that he was, like Jose Canseco.
Yeah. But so, yeah, we hit our way out of that one a little bit. But again, that goes back to, I think that even some of these other years, the best version of our offense has always happened in late May, early June, I feel like. So if there's another level for us to unlock with this offense, that could be pretty scary.
Yeah, here's a good comment from Destiny. She said, I feel like the bats being hot have taken some pressure off the pitchers, and the results have been that both have improved as the season has gone on.
Well, and we were sitting here in March, and I mean, really, all of us were like, there was some real concern about the staff as a whole, pitching staff. And then you look up now, and we're 14th in the country in team ERA.
Right.
So Christian Ostrander doing what he does again. He's going to find his guys, and there's some, there's some things that I think people wonder about early on in the year, but his whole process, I think, is, and this is me just guessing. I feel like watching our teams since he's been the pitching coach, he wants to find his 8 or 10 guys that, let's be honest, if you need more than 10 guys in a regional, you're probably in bad shape anyway.
Good point.
So he wants to find his 8 or 10 guys, I think, by the time this time of the season gets here, and it looks like he's done that again.
Well said. That last game versus Coastal, I think we all enjoyed that game. We had one bad inning, right? But lost it 7-5. That's another good thing. I don't know if we could have. I didn't feel like we gave it near our best effort whatsoever, and barely lost to a top 10 team. But it was a pretty good baseball game. The umps missed some calls. I don't think that it decided the game, but that ball down the line that looked foul for Coastal. And then the runner clearly tagged out at second base, and then countless balls and strikes. But other than that, I don't think any of that is the reason that we lost. I think Coastal played better than we did, but all those things happened. I was right there and watched it, and none of it helped. So 2-1 Coastal through 2 innings. USM got the lead 3-2 through 4 innings. Then Coastal had that 5 spot in the 5th. USM tacks on 2 more before the end, but that just wasn't enough. Landon Payne saddled with the loss, but he didn't pitch badly. 2 hits, 2 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, but only 2 earned. 0 walks. That's the big deal with him. Keep him throwing strikes. 3 strikeouts. And Camden Sundstrom started. That's going to do him some good. He only went 1 2/3, but again, I didn't think he looked bad. 3 hits, 2 runs. I thought it was probably going to be a quick leash with him out there. But Best looked good over an inning and a third. Ock threw 2 clean innings. Allen finished it off. Coastal threw 5 guys as well. They just didn't have the bad inning like we did, right? Hitting wise, I mean, Coastal, they didn't hit three homers like we did. Monastery, Urban, and Higdon all went deep. Nicky Ballgame had a huge day, 4 for 5, 1 run, 2 RBIs. Dre Barrett, 2 for 5. 10 total hits for the Eagles, 11 for the Chants. So, lost the game. But I remember when I was talking with that Sunbelt Syndicate, I felt like this is how it is being. This is like being in the SEC all year long. No matter what happens, you're in the game, and RPI wise, it's all going to work out.
Yep.
So, they were asking, do you throw JP? I was like, why? We have bigger fish to fry, and so do they. Not that you don't want to win the game. It'd have been nice to get a three-peat, but is that what it's like being in that league? Just it doesn't matter. Just make it to the game. Don't get completely embarrassed, and everybody wins.
Seems to be the recipe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, it's how you can go below 500 and still squeak in as a 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of teams. I mean,
Yeah,
Auburn as a 4 regional is crazy to me. But again, I don't know how they're at a 4 national seed, but it is what it is.
Coastal getting a 13 seed to me was absurd.
It was.
That tells me that for a team like us or Coastal to get into the top 8, you're going to have to lose like 5 games.
Yeah.
I
was kind of aggravated that we were a 16, and then I saw that they were a 13, and I was like, oh.
I mean,
okay.
that to me was just. I mean, what else do you want? Their RPI was 8. Their strength of schedule was great. They won 48 games. They're on an 18-game win streak. Like, what else do you want? And you put them at 13. Okay. I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I mean, top 10 ranking. I think top 10 ranking and top 10 RPI. You win the regular season and the tournament. That's the rub, isn't it? That you have to have these just generationally awesome seasons as
48 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
And they won the regular season. They won the conference. They're on an 18-game win streak. Their RPI is 8. Their strength of schedule is great. They beat Clemson twice, who's seated ahead of them.
Yeah.
And all it tells me with the seating they got is that, unless you have SEC, ACC, or whatever else on your jersey, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Like, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt because of the league they play in.
League affiliation, a very big deal.
Yeah,
very big metric. Hey, tell you what, while we're on that, you brought up the metric, what the exact formula is for RPI. I didn't know it. Would you want to tell everybody what that is?
Yeah, and I'm stupid. I'm a stupid person, so I may not get it all right. I may not even be understanding it right, but I think I am. The RPI formula, 25% of that is your winning percentage. 50% of that formula is your opponent's winning percentage. And then the remaining 25% of that formula is your opponent's winning percentage. So whatever your winning percentage is times 0.25, whatever your, I guess, accumulative opponent's winning percentage is times 0.5, and then whatever your opponent, like, it gets complicated, I guess, like figuring out. But here's where I feel like they've cracked the code. And before I say any of this, let me say, are they talented? Absolutely. SEC is talented. SEC is I think we could all agree the SEC is the best league in the country. There's no I'm not disputing that. My issue, I think, is that there's this perceived gap between the SEC and everybody else, especially the Sun Belt. And I feel like the ACC is getting kind of like irritated a little bit too. When you have Georgia Tech, who got left out as a host, when you have, some of these other, I'm trying to think, there was somebody else that I was looking at, I can't think of it now, but so think about this. So if 25% of your winning percentage goes into that formula, and you go look at the out-of-conference schedules that the SEC teams play, they're terrible. The average out-of-conference strength of schedule in the SEC this year was 150. I'll just read them. Texas was 204. Arkansas was 174. LSU was 221. Vandy, Georgia, and Auburn, props to them, 77, 71, and 58. Tennessee, 218. Alabama, 158. Ole Miss, 96. Florida, 73. Mississippi State, 205. Oklahoma, 190. Kentucky, 191. Texas A&M, 163. South Carolina, 148. Missouri, 160. So there's a lot of high numbers in there.
Yes, so basically schedule nobodies and yourself.
Schedule nobodies. And what you need to try and do is schedule teams that are nobodies, but that you feel like are going to do well in their conference so that their winning percentage is high. So you're trying to find teams that and again, let's go back to like the SEC is talented. There's no way around that. They're very talented. And so they're going to beat a lot of teams. Like that's part of it. I'm not saying that the SEC wouldn't end up as the number one RPI conference in the year every year. I think my issue, and everybody's kind of on the outside of it, our issue is this perceived gap that there is between what the SEC is and what everybody else is. Because is there a gap? Sure, I think there is. Is it as wide as ESPN and the SEC want you to think it is? No. So
there was a fantastic tweet that I saw earlier that I have bookmarked here. I don't know the guy, but his name's Ray Cartwright, at Ray Cartwright. Do you guys follow him by any chance? Anyway,
I think I started diving into this because of the tweet that you shared.
It says how to be like an SEC baseball school. 1, move your fences in 30 feet. 2, schedule one non-conference tournament. 3, schedule the rest as non-conference scrubs at home. 4, win just half of your conference games. You'll be rewarded with an easy path to Omaha if you successfully complete all these challenges.
Right. So,
I don't know how you can disagree with that.
No, right? So stick with me here. Mm-hmm. If 25% of the RPI formula is your winning percentage, and looking at the out-of-conference strength of schedules, most of them are terrible. So it tells you that they're like out-of-conference schedules, they're scheduling a lot of easy wins, which is going to boost everybody in the league's winning percentage, right? So then you move to opponents' winning percentage is 50% of the RPI formula. So if everybody in your league is playing scrubs for most of their out-of-conference schedule, everybody's winning percentage is going to be higher. Mm-hmm. So then when you get to playing everybody else, the half of that formula, like you're playing teams whose winning percentage is already higher. And again, let's go back to it. They're talented. Yes, they're better than a lot of teams, and I get that. But the strength of schedule and the strength of schedule and the out of conference and then you move, the last little piece of that, the last 25%, our opponents. So we're playing 30 games against these other SEC teams who are also playing these other SEC teams, and they're all their winning percentages are higher because their winning percentage is higher.
That's the kicker right there.
Like they've cracked the formula. And so there's this perceived gap that are they the best league in the country? Yes, they are. But is the gap as big as what everybody on their side of that fence wants you to think it is? No. Well, then, you'll hear that, well, why has the SEC won so many of the national championships? Like, okay, let's go back. Like, they are talented. But with all this formula and how the RPI is set up and how the selection committee, like, look at LSU's regional this year. It is a joke.
Yeah.
LSU's
Well, and also you have all the
given
SEC
this easy
teams.
path to Omaha, and then you get in an 18 tournament, and like,
I think the reason that they win all of the national titles is, number one, they're good. Number two, they get more spots than everybody else. Number three, they spread them out. Nobody's in the same exact regional.
right.
Just the odds are in their favor, right? So if you put 10 Sun Belt Conference teams into the field of 64, none of us in the same regional, odds are we're going to have some teams make it to Omaha, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just, you combine that with the fact that they're already good, and I don't feel like, my problem is I just don't feel like teams like Kentucky, they didn't deserve it. They didn't earn it.
I don't think if you don't win 30 ball games, you shouldn't be in the tournament. Like, there's no way that Kentucky and Oklahoma State should have gotten in ahead of Troy. There's no way.
Nope. I agree. Short pants and all. I'm with you though. So the regionals are in Hattiesburg. We had a poll that we did, and we talked about this earlier, but we'll just update the poll results from the beginning of the week. At Sunbelt Baseball Tournament begins, would you rather have 3 or more teams advance to the NCAA regionals, or just 2 but both host? And after all the votes, 12.5% said the more the merrier, and 87.5% said give me the host. So we got it. Maybe we should do more polls, because we're spot on with that one. But that leads us to the Hattiesburg Regional. Here we are. And if you are on there making comments, fantastic. But if you wanted to hear your voice, go to the X space and throw your hand up, or however you do that, for Pilo to acknowledge you, and you can get on and you can enter into the conversation with us. But the Hattiesburg Regional, Southern Miss is the 16 seed. We are playing Columbia out of the Ivy League. Then Miami and Alabama are the other 2 teams in it, the 2 and the 3, respectively. Our first game is going to be on ESPN Plus, and I think it's going to be, is that 7 p.m. Central, or is that 6 p.m.?
I think it's
we got 7. The late one.
I think it's 7 Eastern though. I think
we wanted 6 o'clock Central. Okay.
Yeah.
And if that even happens on time, right? A lot of times these games don't start exactly on time. I tell you, it's a cool regional, just as far as recognition, like, I mean, Alabama, Miami, it's going to be neat seeing like Alabama's uniform out there, right? Even though I think they feel like they squeaked in by the skin of their teeth as well. Alabama, you got Chase Fowler coming back to town. There's some storylines there. I love that it's not, if we have to have an SEC team, is this the most kind of docile? I hated Tennessee. I don't ever want to do that again. Ole Miss and State, even though I have buddies on both sides of the aisle there, it's just a nightmare. Is this the best SEC team that we could get, just as far as getting along? Or
I think it could be. I think we need to wait till the end of the weekend to make that determination.
That's very true.
Some wisdom there.
And just, about these teams. So Columbia is the team that we play against. They are out of the Ivy League, 29-17 overall record, 16-5 in the Ivy League, an RPI of 61. As far as when I checked it earlier, I don't know how it still changes and fluctuates after the fact, but it might have by now. They've won 9 in a row. They're coming in hot. They beat Holy Cross in the finals of the Ivy League tournament. They hit 290 as a team, 74 home runs on the season, so they can hit a little bit. 2 guys do most of that damage. They've stole 39 bases. Sam Miller is a load. He hits 342, 16 home runs, 55 RBIs. He's a junior. Listed as an infielder, right-handed pitcher. I don't know exactly what position he plays. Cole Fellows, 329, 5 homers. Anton Lazitz, 290 with 12 home runs. But here's the deal. team ERA in that league of 6.57. So I feel like we're feeling pretty good about our hitters' chances. I mean, I might play into the fact again, but here's the ultimate kicker for me, anyways. The pitcher who they're probably going to throw, Jagger Edwards, left-handed pitcher. I'm guessing he didn't throw a million, which is our nemesis, but left-handed pitcher, senior, so he's been around, 4-3 with a 5.27 ERA, and you think that's kind of high, but it's below their team average. So I think he's kind of their guy. 56 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, 19 walks. You know, and he's from San Antonio, Texas. So you think, like, you know, coming down from New York, these guys are just going to melt. He's used to it, you know. And then Baylor Hicks, 17 appearances, 3.6 ERA, 30 innings pitched, 17 Ks, 14 walks, sophomore. And he's from the state of Georgia. So the heat's probably not going to bother him either. If you're Columbia, you're kind of playing with house money, right? You're riding a high on a 9-game winning streak. You're coming down to Hattiesburg. You've already got morons like us talking about not looking past you, but throwing off, you know, and because we have a good number 2 also, I think that factors in, but you're hearing all this and you've got this left-handed pitcher who's your man, who's a senior. Does that scare us at all that there could be a possible crafty lefty stepping on the mound?
Is he left-handed? I was thinking for some reason their guy was right-handed, but I've been wrong.
Philo, can you look that up and make sure I'm not a moron?
I'm on it.
Okay. Let's just say he's a lefty right now for the sake of argument. If he is left-handed, does that worry you at all? Because it worries me a little bit.
Yeah, here's a picture of him. He's definitely left-handed.
Okay.
Political science major.
Unless it was in a mirror. And then...
No.
I don't know.
He's got moves like Jagger.
I feel like we do hit righties better than lefties, but I also feel like we've hit lefties better
this year for sure.
We cracked the code on Blake Morgan for sure.
Yeah, and he's not the only one either. I want to say the last weekend against Lafayette, they had a number of lefties that they ran out there, and I remember thinking, like, our approach against these lefties is really good because we were banging a lot of balls the other way to right center. So I feel like we've done a better job against lefties this year. And I think that because of the perceived struggles in the past against lefties is still something we kind of think about. But I do think that this year we've done a better job against lefties. Now we do have a number of left-handed hitters in the lineup. Typically left on left isn't as favorable, obviously, as left on right. So yeah, I don't know. It could add a little pause to the decision on who to pitch, who not to pitch. Are we going to struggle against a thumbing lefty? We could. I don't know.
And if you have thoughts on that, get up in here. We aren't going to stay on too much longer. We're running right at an hour now. We're going to preview the rest of these teams, but we would love to hear from you before we go. Pilo, is there anybody hanging?
Not yet, but there is a lot of people in the space. So if you're in here and you're in the space, you can request.
Yeah, go ahead and get in. That's why we're doing it. It's why we've been off the board and the whole deals. We want to hear from everybody else. But let's look at. I made just a few notes, and you guys might have more knowledge about these other teams than I do. Outside of just, I'm basically, I know where they are and what their uniforms look like, and that's about it. But I made some notes. So Alabama, 41-16, very good season. 16-14 in the SEC. RPI of 13. In the tournament, they beat Missouri and lost to Tennessee. They beat Missouri 4-1, who's horrible. And they lost to Tennessee 15-10, so that's a lot of runs scored. They come in with a 280 batting average as a team, 91 home runs, so just like us. They steal a lot more bases, 52 of 59 on the base pass. They had come in with a 5.11 ERA as opposed to Southern Miss, who comes in a tick under 4. Cade Snell is a good player, 366, 75 hits on the year. That's a lot. That's like Trey Sutton days. 10 home runs, just 16 strikeouts. That's like Sutton again. You know, they have a Trey Sutton.
I struck out more than that.
Yeah. Well, 16 strikeouts in a season is impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Justin LeBron is an animal, 315, 18 bombs, 72 RBIs. That is a bunch of RBIs. Richie Bonamalo, maybe, Junior, 320, 8 home runs. He's 16 of 17, so he'll steal the bases too. Bryce Fowler, we remember him, 261, 6 home runs. He would love nothing more than to come back and have his little moment and send us packing. Zane Adams on the mound, 7-4 with a 5.5 ERA. Riley Quick, 8-2 with a 3.5 ERA. Then Carson Osmer, 17 saves, 2.89 ERA. So I feel like if you're Alabama, you think you can hit it a little bit, and you're going to overcome some of those starters' ERAs. And if you get to the end of the game, you just hand it over to this Osmer guy, and it's kind of lights out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the dimensions on their ballpark. 320 and down the line, 360 in the alleys, and 390 at center. So typical. That's why there's a.
Sut, you have any insight as far as the Mammers?
Oh, I mean, they're good. They're a good ball club. You get to this point in the year. I mean, you look at our weekend, even like the 4 seed Columbia. Okay, there's Columbia. Well, they're like we've been talking about. They're on a 9-game win streak. They won their league. They've got some guys that can swing it. I mean, nobody that you run into at this point of the year is just a scrub. And Alabama's coming out of the SEC. They played a tough schedule. They've got talented players. They've got. I mean, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they like scare me? No. I think they're very beatable. Their conference record this year was what was it? It was
they went 16-14.
16-14 in the regular season. Here's something that we didn't mention earlier that I think is worth considering too. And it goes back to the RPI debate and how the SEC's RPIs, yes, they're talented, but how did they always end up towards the top? And we talked earlier about I think how they do that sometimes. But in league this year, Missouri and South Carolina were a combined 9-51 in conference. Which is terrible.
Jeez.
And Alabama played Missouri 3 times. Alabama, and look, I'm not like they won the games. They played their schedule. Kudos to them. Like we hear that argument a lot. Well, you didn't play anybody. Well, we won our game.
Missouri is kind of the Monroe,
right?
Okay.
They won 3 SEC games and they were all in one weekend against Texas A&M. So they Alabama won 16 SEC games. 3 of them were Missouri. Like had they played, let's see, they played LSU, Vandy, Georgia, Florida, State, Auburn, Oklahoma. They didn't play had they played Ole Miss instead of Missouri, would they have won 16 this year?
Yeah, good
would
point.
It have been 14? So I think that's worth considering, especially some of these SEC teams that played South Carolina and Missouri, who had the privilege of getting both of them on their schedule. It certainly boosted their in-conference win total. And like we talked about earlier with our winning percentage, our opponent's winning percentage, our opponent's it all feeds into each other, and it just creates this monster. All that to say, I'm not taking away Alabama's a good ball club. There's no doubt. They're talented. So if we run into them, they will be a challenge.
Pilo, Cloverleaf Mall has a good. Can you throw that one up there?
Yep. And we have a couple of people to chime in too. So as soon as we answer this.
Okay. And yes, I don't know if you can see that, but does the end of the streak take any pressure off the team?
I think low key that's a huge weight off the shoulders.
Yeah.
Just.
I mean, you don't want to start a losing streak. You want to start another winning streak, but
right. exactly.
Mhm.
And yeah, but 18 games in a row is a lot, and um, you know, it's going to end at some point.
Right.
Like this is baseball. It's like, how hard is it to win 18 games in a row? It's really
No
hard. I
doubt.
don't care who you're playing. It's hard to do. So
It could.
I do think really it could be. I mean, you take your mind off of it. You're not thinking about the winning streak anymore, which allows for, we all as individuals, we only have so much mental capacity that we can devote what we're thinking about towards. And as well as they handled it, there's still, like, at times, you're probably thinking about, God, we've won 18 games. We want to get to 19. We want, this streak's going on. We want to keep the streak going. And now they're not even, like, that's not even a thing.
Right.
I do think it is a weight off the shoulders in a
Yeah,
way.
Coastal, take that. You're playing checkers. We're playing chess.
Right. We're 4D chess.
Right. You said there's some callers
Yeah,
on the
hopefully
line.
it works. Go ahead. If you'll unmute, you should be good to go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Let's see. It's not working. Hold on.
Okay. Well, while you're fixing that, I'll run through what Miami brings to the table. Miami is 31 and 24.
Hello.
50. Oh, there he is. We've got you. It
Wait.
sounds okay. Sounds like James.
Let's see. All right. Go ahead.
James, are you
Hello.
there? There he is.
Yeah, go ahead, James. Unmute. You should be good.
Can you boys hear me?
We got you.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey.
We got you,
It
James.
looks like there's a red X over you boys' name. I don't know if I'm muted or not.
Okay, we can hear James, but James can't hear us.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, we all can hear you, James.
Next.
All right, James. There we go. James.
Hello.
Yep. Can you hear us?
Can you hear? Yes, I can hear you boys
There we go.
now. It was
Great.
quiet.
There we go.
Okay. So,
Such
how's
that.
everybody doing this evening? Thank you so much for having me on.
Sure
Great to
thing.
hear from you, James.
Yeah, it's great. Jason, did you ever find your seat? Were you able to tailgate in Montgomery?
Yes, sir. Tailgated. Found the right field roost too.
That is just excellent. That's great. I know you boys brought the energy. I just wanted to talk about the regional. We have the elephants from Alabama. We've got the smart brainiacs from New York City. We've got the Costa Ricans from South Florida. And they're all coming to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. What a wonderful opportunity to showcase this town. Goodness gracious. And, to any boys listening out there, them Alabama players, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. And thank the good Lord above, they're actually past the butt cheeks, unlike the Troy Trojans.
Agreed.
Oh,
Yes.
very good points, James. James, did you get to watch all the games?
I did. I sat on my lazy boy and I reclined back and I took it all in. And it was a rough Sunday. But I tell you, I felt it in my plums we were gonna have the games back into Hattiesburg.
Your plums never lie.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic,
That's
James.
what my wife says.
If you
Been saying it for 47 years.
oh goodness, James, if you make it out to the Pete, come see us out in the roost, okay?
I'm gonna try, boys. That's a long walk, and as you know, I've had 2 hip replacements.
Yes, sir. Well, fantastic. Good talking to you, James.
Bump has a golf cart. He could drive you in.
Yeah, it's true.
Who is that? Who is that speaking?
That's Mr. That's the Hit King, Mr. Trey Sutton.
Oh, goodness gracious. I didn't realize we were in the presence of baseball royalty.
We are. That's right.
Lord have mercy. Okay, boys. Well, I gotta get going. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for calling, James.
See you,
To the
James.
top. Yep. There he goes. All right. So James with an update on the teams that are coming in. I think he said the Elephants,
Costa Ricans from South Florida. That was the best one.
Brainiacs, and the Costa Ricans.
We got one more.
Okay.
Throw them up here.
Mhm.
All right. If you'll unmute, should be good to go. Go ahead. You are live. This is a burner, so
They're probably coming after me.
probably so.
Just getting worked up. Okay. So is he on?
You should be good to go ahead. Mustard, go ahead.
Oh, it's Mustard too. That would be great.
Well, it's not the mustard, it's another mustard.
Oh,
No.
I don't know
There's
about
only
that.
one mustard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I started to run through this last time. Maybe he'll pop in while I'm doing this. If you can hear me, or if you can see what Patrick's doing, you can go. You're good. Just go ahead and start talking. Miami 31-24, 15-14 in their league. Was that ACC? ACC.
Mhm.
They've lost 2 games in a row, unlike Columbia, who's red hot. They were 22-9 at home and just 7-14 away. They come in with a 273 batting average. They've hit some homers, but 68, kind of like us most years, except for this year where we're killing it. Daniel Cuvée, maybe Cuvée, can rake. He's hit 378 this season, 16 home runs, 76 RBIs, and 76 hits. That's a lot. Jake Ogden is also a good player. He has 76 hits. So 2 guys with 76 hits, and he's hitting 350 on the season. Derek Williams is hitting 345. So everybody else must be terrible. If you got one guy hitting 378, another guy hitting 350, another guy hitting 345, but you're only hitting 273 as a team, it drops off pretty good. So just get through that top of the order. I'm thinking we're okay. Unlike Southern Miss's lineup, where I feel like we're deep throughout. They do make up for that a little bit on the base paths. They are 61 of 73 in the stolen base category. Southern Miss doesn't try to steal bases. They come in with a 5.03 ERA, very respectable. Opponents are hitting just 251 versus Miami. So, like I said earlier, it's going to be cool just seeing the uniform out there. But, another team that really doesn't come in with the greatest of credentials. I mean, 31-24, 15-14. That's, I'm not sure positive that's deserving. But it's I don't know. I mean, I feel good about them being in. I'm not super scared. I mean, we can lose to anybody, but at the same time, it could be worse, right?
Yeah, I think the thing with Miami is, and they're probably the team I'm least familiar with because we've seen Alabama. We know more about the SEC because of where we are, and Columbia I've looked at a lot more today because that's who we're playing the first game. So Miami's probably the team that I'm least familiar with, but being where they're located, and again, this is me. I'm totally ignorant saying this, but I feel like they've got talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got to have some talented guys, which, you get a talented team in the tournament and they get hot, you never know where they're going to end up. I mean, look at Ole Miss years ago.
No doubt. And that's where they went, was to Miami, right? Ole Miss got through that
went
regional.
to Arizona.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But yeah, like if nothing else, I feel like they're going to be talented. So now talent doesn't always win. We all know that. Like, there's got to be chemistry. There's got to be guys who actually perform, regardless of what talent you could have. But yeah, I think they're going to be a talented bunch, and I think aside from that, like you said, like they don't look real scary. Like, there's been a lot better Miami teams that we've seen in the past, but
yeah, I mean, everybody's real high on Georgia Tech out of the ACC. Miami swept Georgia Tech.
Right.
So they beat them 4-2, 7-2, 10-2.
Right. So they're not going to be a pushover.
No.
It looks to me, looking at their schedule, they've been kind of up and down. Like, it just kind of depends on which Miami you get that day or that week or two, you know. But I think they're going to be talented. I don't think they're to be overlooked. I think it could be a case of, if there's some concern about Miami, it could be more this year of the name. Like, I'm worried about the name than what they're actually made up of.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, again, I don't know. They're the team I've looked at the least. But being in South Florida, there's talent all over the place. They're going to be a talented bunch, I think.
Sure thing. And if you happen to, I see a comment coming in right there. It looks like they might have just hopped on, but if you're just joining the live, this is the To the Top Talk live edition, talking Southern Miss athletics. So you can check out our normal podcast anywhere you get it on a normal basis. But if you want to participate tonight, hop on the X space or just type your little comment in there. We would love to hear from a couple more people. There's a few things that I want to hit kind of on the way out the door. But on any of the topics that we've talked about so far, feel free to jump in and hit on that. The all tournament team from the Sun Belt Conference tournament was released, and there are a couple Golden Eagles on there. So Matt Adams made it as a pitcher, Nick Monasterio second base, and Ozzie Pratt at shortstop, and I think that's it. Is that right?
Yep.
So we landed 3 people on that team. Matt Adams was honored before that last game with something. I didn't see what it was. Did you guys pick up on that? He received an award, like at home plate.
Yeah, he did. I think it was the highest GPA of somebody playing in the championship game, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just walking the concourse. I was like, "What's he doing?" I didn't know. That's like, did we already play? But anyway, so congratulations to them. The tweet of the week from I think it was from today, actually.
That was a good one.
It's fantastic. So tweet of the week is brought to you by Katie Bailey with Dunbar Real Estate. Any house, anywhere, anytime, call today. Her telephone number is 601-408-9980. And again, any house, anywhere, anytime. But the tweet of the week comes to you from Scott Watkins. You can follow him at Scott Watkins TU. And the tweet is very simple. It's a poll question. And it says, greatest team of all time, ? There's 3 options. 72 UCLA hoops, 2019 LSU football, or 2025 preseason Troy baseball.
I voted in this poll. I voted for the 2025 Troy baseball.
So did I.
And the funny thing is, Scott Watkins went to Troy. So
he did.
I mean,
he did.
And
he qualified it later and kind of, poured some water on the fire a little bit. But he's a sharp dude. And that was a great tweet. So I thought it to be worthy of the tweet of the week. And at the time, there's like 300 votes with 18 hours left. So you might can still go vote. So go to at Scott Watkins TU, and he's a great writer too, doing his writing down on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for the Sun Herald. So check him out and buy you that subscription and enjoy all of his stuff. And that's just about it, fellas. If there's a couple more things, if anybody else wants to jump on and talk about any of the things that we've talked about, this is
now is your chance.
We're getting kind of towards the end, but before we get to all that, we'd like to thank our sponsor, our title sponsor, once again, and remind you that Yingling Flight is available in 12-ounce slim cans and 16-ounce screw tops, along with the traditional 12-ounce cans. and bottles at most retailers. Buy yourself some Yingling Flight today. You'll thank me later.
Oh, we have a guest.
Oh no.
This is
Okay.
a good guest. All right, let's see.
I heard a beep.
Go ahead. You'll unmute. You should be good to go.
Hey, yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
We can.
All right, so I just want to kind of y'all didn't really get into it as much as I kind of thought y'all would, and that's okay. But just a little bit about that Miami Bama matchup. I mean, obviously Bama's a decent 2 seed, and Miami kind of gets in there with that 3. How do you think that matchup's going to go? Like, do you think Miami's going to be able to put up a fight, kind of run Bama through some arms? That way, either way it goes, assuming we beat Columbia, how that matchup looks for us.
I think they're very similar teams. I mean, if you look at them on paper, right? Both teams can hit. Alabama is probably been a little bit more tested, I would imagine. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I've watched Alabama play the entire year or Miami, just on the research we've done today. But it's going to be that 2-3 matchup's always weird. People are like, I can't believe we got into the 3. Well, you're playing the 2. If you get into the 2, you're playing the 3. So they're kind of interchangeable in that regard.
Sure.
In a perfect world, yeah, you want to see both of them throw a bunch of arms, and hopefully, like Sut said, if we can get through the first game, they throw a bunch of arms, we get their at least number 2, and maybe not their top of the line bullpen. Then, as far as Southern Miss goes, that would be best case scenario, I would think. But as far as how the matchup's going to go, I don't know. I'm with you. I hope that they both throw a whole lot of people, and I hope I get to watch every single inning of it since it's right down the road from my house here.
Well, like I'll say this, and Jason, you kind of alluded to this earlier. It'll be cool to just sit out there and watch Alabama and Miami play on our field.
Yeah, I agree. Sure.
$1 in a cup.
That's where I was going with this. That's exactly where I was headed.
$1 in the cup.
There's a game called $1 in the Cup, and we play it, and it's fun. So we'll either be in spot 26 or down the hill closer to the Horns playing $1 in the Cup, watching Alabama Miami. If you want to find out more,
come see us in the Roost. We will be
there.
Yeah.
And I didn't get your I didn't get your name, caller. What was your name?
I'm calling from Matthew Russo's Giant Bat.
Matthew Russo's Giant Bat.
Giant Bat.
There's more about Matthew Russo, this giant, than just his bat.
Okay. Well, so what do you think? I mean, maybe you know more about both those teams than we do. I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, I really haven't kept up with Miami. I didn't know what y'all might have known. I'm with y'all. I hope they can kind of run through some arms, both teams. That way, whatever way it shakes out, we have them in their pin when we face them. Eventually, we'll see one of them. So.
True that, man. But I tell you what, it's here. It's here. Are you going to the games?
Yeah, I'm either going to be in general admission or I'm going to be peeking over from the church parking lot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get tickets.
We can get you in there. Yeah.
That fence is climbable.
That fence is very climbable. Yeah.
I'm going to find a way in there.
I've seen my 8-year-old do it.
Well,
hey, man.
If you do some research on this, Sports Illustrated wrote an article, and I was kind of scanning it because it was talking about Southern Miss, and it was a pretty tough draw for them. But 2 sentences in, it says Southern Miss has started to become a powerhouse in CUSA. So,
my God.
Yeah, they do a really good job of research.
It's hard to get past that line, for sure.
The fact that they're a publication
it's just
is a joke. Justice Sandel, a Mississippi State University student.
Oh, yeah. Well,
this is from Sports Illustrated?
Yes.
God.
Way to do your justice.
He has a degree in journalism from State.
He needs to go back and reassess.
Yeah. Wow. Good luck, buddy. That's.
I'll tell you what, Pilo.
We have one more. We have one more. This is the one I was talking about earlier, and I hit the wrong button. So here we go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello.
There's always a delay
Yeah, there is.
of some sort, but whenever you start hearing my voice, you can begin speaking.
You have
Caller?
to unmute. Good friend of the show. May have stepped away from the phone. I know it took a minute for us to get to him. We'll just keep going. He'll come off in just a second.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. I'll remind everybody that you can go and buy some. If while I'm doing this, Pilo, go ahead and get your weather report ready to rock.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
music you want for that. But if you want to go buy some of our merchandise, you can go to. You have Oppo Taco shirts and Rally Cat shirts and the Pete Drawing shirts and Rocks Kicks and Delivers has been a popular one. If you want to go, you can go to bonfire.com/store/to the top talk. And there's links in the bios of all of our social network pages. So you can go there and look at that. And you can buy yourself some merch. I heard a beep. It sounds like we are back on. Are we?
Maybe.
Please let it be Nitro. Credit card.
Here. Still trying.
Okay, no problem.
You were talking about Yingling Flight earlier, those slim cans. John Smith would tell you that those are a game changer.
Yeah, he has a dog in that fight for sure.
Yes.
But it's good. I mean, I've told everybody the same thing. I like beer. I like all kinds of beer. And I probably would have never tried Yingling if he hadn't have given me some. I mean, maybe I would have. I don't know. But after I tried it, it's just not my deal, right? I'm just not that super light kind of guy. But since I've done it, I'm changed, I think, right? Number one, it looks nice. It's a premium looking can. Look at this thing, right? So it's really cool looking. It costs the exact same thing as Michelob Ultra. Not huge on the slim cans, but you got these other things, so they've kind of checked all the boxes for me, especially when it gets super duper hot outside. This is just the way I've found that it's my favorite thing to go to. I still like all kinds, but this is on weekends like this is how I'm going to roll, and it's gonna help you out in the long run, I promise. And it tastes good. So anyway, that's what's good for me. Are we good to go yet, Pilo?
Still troubleshooting here, but I did want to read this comment from Attack Eagles. He said, hosting is awesome, but what makes me the most happy is seeing Matty Ice announce it on the bus. Guys like him, Tuna, and best 5-6 years here, unheard of in today's college sports. 2 regional hosts, 2 supers, awesome stuff.
That's very true. Baseball hasn't been affected, I don't think, near as much as some of the other sports. You guys remember back in the day when Chris Berman and Tom Jackson were doing back when everybody watched ESPN and Sports Center?
Yeah.
And Chris Berman would say something like, Brett Favre throws a touchdown, and he'll go, Brett Favre from, and Tom Jackson would say Southern Miss. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's like if you pick a player and you say from, you're like Louisville, Cincinnati, and now is it Rhode Island or something? There's no way to just spit it out. Like Patrick Ewing didn't stay at Georgetown for 4 years, right? Spoon didn't at Southern Miss for 4 years. And somehow you guys like Denaje Harris are still eligible. He's in the portal again.
That's insane.
How the hell does that happen?
I think I still have a year.
You might.
Suit up.
Not now.
Hey, Sut. Hey, how could at what level do you feel like you could be good right now? Hey, if I put the levels at 13 and 14-year-old baseball, 5A high school baseball, Division II like Belhaven, or Division I like at Southern Miss, how far up that ladder would you put yourself right now?
I could dominate the hell out of some coach pitch. That's about it.
Oh
And
goodness,
we're going to dominate the Roots this weekend. That's where I'm headed.
fantastic. Pilo, did we ever figure it out?
No, I don't know. It's still muted on my end, and I can't unmute a listener or a speaker.
Okay, so we
It
just
has
need
to be an
whoever it
option
is
to
to
unmute.
unmute.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I see a beep there again. The beep could mean good.
I'm getting text messages. There's a
Oh,
lot happening.
okay.
People have no idea. So much.
It's so much. Well, I'd like to get them on, if at all possible.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because other than that, we're just going to have our shout outs and hit the road here. But if we can, I would love to get another diehard Golden Eagles perspective on if we've made any sense tonight. You know, if you agree with any of the things that we've said, if you disagree with any of the things, are you coming to the Pete this weekend? Right? Are you looking forward to that? Did you have trouble with your tickets? Are you going to buy your ticket guy the meal the next time you see him, like I probably am, because I couldn't get anything done. And one phone call, well, actually one text message, and then one text message back was all it took for my ticket guy.
I
And
love that for you.
I can't imagine.
You jerk.
I can't imagine what they've been through in the past day or so. This fear of missing out thing. People talk about FOMO an awful lot, but it's baseball is. Again, we're going to use the term "crack the code." People will riot if they don't get their tickets for USM baseball right now. You know, and we're going to see a lot of that start to happen. I'm guessing some of the Alabama people, they're our closest in that. I mean, Columbia, how many people are there or can possibly come from Columbia? I hope they do. But how many people realistically, how many can they bring? Miami, you know, I've watched their games on TV sometimes. Nobody goes to their home games either. So I don't expect them to bring a lot. But Alabama, you know, I've been to Greene County. Right?
I will say, though, there's probably about 90% of the Alabama fan base who didn't know baseball existed until about 2 weeks ago.
Right. Oh
This
man,
is
they
true.
coming to Hattiesburg. No, they ain't.
Oh, what
No, they
we
ain't.
need. Here's what we need this week, above all else.
Okay.
Here's what we need. We need a Nitro and a Roll Tide Willie face off
that's what.
in the Roost. Because the dude's gonna be there. I guarantee he's gonna be there. We need to make that happen. Nitro, it's like a Street Fighter. Like, think about pre-fight screen. I want like Nitro and Roll Tide.
That would be fantastic.
Okay,
If
let's
that
see if it's
happens,
working.
okay.
Go ahead.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, there we go.
Oh, I know that voice. Hello, boss.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I don't know what
What's
happened.
happening?
Man, that's crazy.
What's up, Brian?
Oh, all good, man. Sutton, I agree with you. We got to get Roll Tide Willie and Nitro. I want to, you guys, Bump, I know you just said this a minute ago, but I think it's worth saying again that, you know, Jeff and Tyler and all our folks in the ticket office, we should all appreciate them so much. Like, whatever anybody listen to this did on their Memorial Day holiday, I promise you it was better than what those guys did.
Yes.
All day, and probably are still doing.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what they
do a
get
great
paid, but
job.
it's not enough.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not enough.
So what's up?
Enough.
So how you feeling about the regional this weekend? Do you like the draw? Do you think that the Golden Eagles have a legitimate shot of moving forward here and ultimately making it to Omaha?
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a really fair draw. I mean, you got a strong 2 seed, but that's to be expected. I think the 4 seed could be a lot worse. I mean, not to take anything away from Columbia. We saw a couple years ago how good an Ivy League team could be, you know,
Sure.
with Penn and Auburn. But overall, I think it's fair. I think if we play well, we'll win it, and that's, you know, really all that. That's all that we could ask for.
What about this past weekend? The whole deal with Montgomery, how the tournament ended up shaking out. Uh, I mean, from a health standpoint, I mean, Southern Miss is coming into it about as healthy as we can be. Hitting the ball is about as good as we can hit it for the most part. The I guess the streak, the pressure of that is kind of off of our back now. So maybe that's a good thing. But your thoughts from outside about how the tournament went and just the mindset that Southern Miss probably has moving into this regional.
Yeah, look, I thought we played well, but I think Trey, you said something really important. I think the pressure of the winning streak being over could turn out to be a positive. I mean, Sunday was disappointing for everybody. Really just one bad inning, and it was sort of a sloppy game. But we played well. Bump, I want to talk about. So I've never been to the Sun Belt tournament in Montgomery, but I have been to Montgomery lots of times and spent a lot of time around there. And the environment was it's a cool area. It's walkable. It's easy to get around. So I think it's good from that perspective. I think the one thing that we should talk about, and obviously I wasn't there, but man, the field just looked like it was in horrible condition to be hosting a tournament like this. I realized when you play a lot of games on the field, it's difficult and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I'm curious, what did y'all think about that? I mean, it just seemed obviously that the ball that hopped over Monastery's head was one thing, but just overall to me, it looked rough. Am I
Yeah,
off base there?
I've heard that from everybody that I heard that from watched on TV.
Well, I'll say
So
this:
so
if you go look at, I got a spider on my screen. Go away. If you go back and look at the last 2 years, the field looked a lot better than what it did this year. I will say that. And I don't know if it's just been the recent weather. Like there's a number of factors that could go into that because it's still a minor league ballpark that's affiliated with a big league club that you would think they have a professional uh, grounds crew there taking care of it. So it could be any number of factors, but um, that was what stood out to me was like seeing videos of or highlights from our games there the last couple of years compared to what the field looked like this year. That was where I noticed a big difference. And like I said, I don't know what that's to be attributed to, but to me, it just did not look. And you get to the end of a week in a tournament where you've played a lot of games on it. The infield can get choppy and bouncy and hard, especially if you've had no rain. So that's a little bit of part of it too, I think. But yeah, I felt like the field looked like it was in better shape the last couple of years than it was this year.
yeah, from my vantage point, I mean, we sat out in the quote unquote right field roost, and I'm just looking at the grass right there, and it looked fine to me. Right, I saw the hop take over Monastery's head. I mean, anybody who's played on any baseball fields on natural surfaces, I mean, that's sometimes it just happens, right? I don't recall it happening a ton. Maybe it did. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
I'll say this about the Monastery hop, and he would probably tell you 100 times out of 100.
Got to go get it.
If he had come and got the first hop, it wouldn't have even been an issue.
Sure. Yeah. But I mean, that's a good point. That's, I guess it could have been better. But I don't feel like lots of people are complaining about Montgomery because of the field conditions. I feel like everybody, maybe it's that the bar was set so low. Last year, the only thing I did was Jack and I drove over for the championship game. So we drove over, watched the game, came back. And this year, we went on Friday. So we had a little bit of a time to spend there. And I've been to Montgomery once before for a golf trip, and I enjoyed my time then. So it's I've been 3 times now, and I liked it all 3 times. But I kept hearing how bad it was. So this time when I had a little bit of an extended stay in the exact same time frame that the people that are banging on it went, maybe the bar was just set so low that I got there and I expected the worst, and it was not terrible. The hotel that we stayed at was awesome. The Embassy. I've told everybody it was like a Southern Miss fantasy camp. Everywhere you look, there's Southern Miss people everywhere. The players are walking in and out. You're seeing them at breakfast. it was pretty affordable, right? I think Biloxi can get out of control sometimes with their prices down there, but for this awesome hotel, it was like $200 a night, breakfast included. So I like that. You can walk to the Dreamland Barbecue. You can walk to a pizza place. You can walk to a Mexican place. It's all right there. It's not super crowded. It's not like New Orleans where there's people everywhere, right? It's kind of like downtown Jackson, but with just more stuff to go do. And it's only 3.5 hours away.
It's better than downtown Jackson.
So you're not winning anybody over by calling it downtown Jackson.
But I'm just saying it's not a
it's a lot better than downtown Jackson.
but it's a capital city,
or
right?
Montgomery.
Well, I'm just saying it's a capital city. It's not like nightlife everywhere, but there's enough. It's not on that side of the train tracks, it's on this side of the train track. So I don't mind it. That paddle boat thing they got going on down there is neat, and just there's a bar overlooking the Alabama River that was we played cornhole and ping pong out there forever, and there's a live band every night. I don't know, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah. I'm going to reassign you to the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce. I think Trey, you said earlier, like rotating it, kind of like Conference USA did the last couple of years we were there. There's so many on-campus places that would be great in the Sun Belt. Lafayette would be great.
Could you
Coastal, Georgia
Southern.
Could you
imagine a Southern
has
Miss
a great
Coastal
facility.
Championship here?
Yeah, or like you said,
Yeah.
or Lafayette. That would be great. That's 3 hours the other way.
I mean,
right?
Coastal,
Yeah.
Georgia Southern's really good too. I mean, that's a great spot. Marshall, I mean, their new ballpark is great.
True.
They're getting people to show up. I mean, there's tons of on-campus options, more so than what we had in Conference USA. I think that's in my opinion, that's the best way to do it for baseball.
So rotate it based on just you get. Is it based on winning percentage? Is it based on attendance? Is it based?
I think this is just totally a fantasy idea, but like there's a number of ways you could do it. I initially thought of like go by average attendance. And like that, maybe that incentivizes some people to upgrade facilities and really push baseball. And because right now, I think the 3 top average attendance holders in our conference right now are us, Lafayette, and Coastal. And that would be 3 great on-campus sites for a conference tournament.
That's true. Yeah, if you can figure out a way to rotate it. If you can figure out a way to rotate where I can at least know, but as the season's going along, hey, look, we want to go do this as a family. If we're going to go to Coastal, I can't just find out the week of and to make that call. Right?
No, they would have to find a way to determine it, probably a year or 2 in advance. And I don't know how you would do that. Or you could do winning, I don't know how you could do it, but I just know there's some really good on-site, on-campus facilities, and I loved when I was a player. I loved going to, like we had not reached the point yet where it was at a neutral site. I know my 4 years we went Southern Miss, Rice, East Carolina, and Tulane. I mean that's 4 pretty good places to go play conference tournaments,
right? And
so in a way, like I get it. There's money involved, but to me, like the crowds, especially for the host school. I remember, when we were still in Conference USA, man, I loved conference week. Whenever we were hosting it, man, you just go out there and watch baseball all day, and enjoy it.
Sure thing. I'm in. Hey, I'm not against any of that. But I just felt like as much as Montgomery was getting banged on, I was like, I just didn't. I don't agree. So that's my 2 cents. Plenty of people have told me how wrong I am, but I was there. I had a good time. There we are.
Some would say it's the downtown Jackson of Alabama.
There's parts of downtown Jackson that aren't bad. There just are. It's both being capital cities. there's some sort of similarity there, at least. But anyway, Brian, I hope we maybe answered some of your questions there. Is Brian still there?
You guys
Yeah.
I'm here. You guys
Okay.
always have answers.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
have answers. One more question. I thought about this with the win streak ending. You know, we've had, and understandably so, the exact same lineup now for whatever it's been, a month. And over the course of last week, there's some guys had good weeks, some guys didn't have such good weeks, but you obviously don't mess with a lineup when you won 15, 16, 17 games in a row. But now that that's over, I wonder what do y'all think about the possibility of some potential tweaks to maybe move folks around to take a little pressure off? Or do you think just the break after, for a few days and starting a regional, you just roll it right back out like we've been doing?
I'm gonna refer to Sut with this one, because, man, that's tough.
I think
That's,
I think that if there's any tweaking going on with the lineup at this point, it would be the extent of it would be. I know who you're talking about.
yeah, I'm trying to dance around
you
that.
might drop him
I'm trying to
down
be
in the
nice,
order
man.
some. Yeah, no, you might drop
Yeah.
him down in the order some. But here's my deal, and I know there's people out there in Twitterverse that are going to disagree with me, and I don't care. But you do not bench a senior 2-year team captain who has produced over 4 years like he has, and who means what he does to that clubhouse and that team. Absolutely the dumbest move, and you will not see it. You will not see him out of the lineup this week. There might be a different spot in the order to take some pressure off, ease his mind, whatever. But that guy is motivated. That guy, we're hosting a regional in his last go round. That guy's motivated. There's nobody else that should be in right field all week.
Every time we start feeling this way about Pato, he hits one like off of the church, right? And then he goes like 11 for his next 14.
And he may not. He may not this week.
Right.
He may have another bad week. And it is what it is at this point. He has produced for 4 years for this program, this university, and he's a 2-year team captain. And there's people, team captain guy. Oh yeah. Well, that's a big factor. Like if you've never been in a locker room and you've never been part of a clubhouse and a team, you can't understand it. But you want that guy out there on the field with you because you've been through it. You've been through the off seasons with him. You've seen what he means to the program. You've seen, we're not talking about a guy who, man, he's just a team. He's just a clubhouse guy. He's like his OPS going into this weekend was over 1,000, and anything over 900 is elite. So we're not talking about a guy who's just eked his way through the season as a clubhouse guy and a team captain kind of guy. Like this is a guy who's produced this year, and he's had a bad couple weeks, and that's part of baseball. But anybody who thinks anybody else going to be in right field this weekend.
Hey, and I'll tell you this too. You were there today, Trey. And so when the players kind of came in like 2x2, 4x4, like they didn't come in like one
round of
single.
applause was when 37 walked through that door.
And you know who most of that applause was from? I mean, not everybody got the applause from the stands, right? Or from the fans sitting around.
From his teammates.
Yes, when Pato comes walking, he might have been the only one where all of them stood up and started clapping, right? He's a superhero. And he's in a slump. That's what he does. He's done it since his freshman year.
He's always been streaky.
Yes.
And we just hope, like, would you rather, and like I said, he may not break out of it this week, but if he doesn't, he doesn't. You roll with him and you go with him. But he's been a streaky player through his career. And if he gets hot, then like, would you rather him have been hot this past week or now moving forward?
Yep.
Now.
That's exactly what
I'd rather have it now.
Yep. He's just saving it.
Very good point. A few comments on there, Pilo. You want to get this comment caught up real quick?
Yeah, there's a new feature here. They're kind of on the screen. I don't know if you can see them as they're kind of rolling in there at the bottom below your image there. We can throw them up bigger, but I just kind of figured that out. So as your live commenting is kind of rolling in, and we can kind of see them. If you squint, Jason, you can probably see them.
I'm dealing
But
with
yeah.
the old one screen over here.
Well, all right. So you just flashed that comment up there, minions. If you make it like if you slide Pato down to take a weight off his shoulders a little bit, Urban's killing it. Like I could see that happening. I could see them sliding him up a spot or two and maybe bumping Carson down a spot or two, for no other reason than just to like, hey, let's relax. Let's ease our mind a little bit.
It's not a demotion. Look, I mean, one of the best hitters in the lineup's hitting 9-hole, right? So it's we got 9 good hitters. That's a good problem to have. So if you got to move around a little bit, that's cool. And Carson's the kind of guy who probably it's like I don't think he'd get mad about it, right?
Like he gets it.
So
like he knows there's nobody. There's nobody.
but he's absolutely playing. He's absolutely
there's nobody
playing
in the world right now that knows he's struggling more than Carson Pato.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I think if you did tweak it, and let's just say, just for the sake of discussion, you drop him to 6th or 7th, and move, just slide everybody else up one. Like the only reason you would do it is to put him in a better position to hit, because where he hits in the order, like we saw this repeatedly last week, just because the guy's in front of him, he just comes up in situations where there's almost always guys on. And I get that can be said of any spot in our lineup the last month, but like it would only be for his benefit, which is the benefit, of the team. And I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, you wouldn't want to. I would think you wouldn't want to mess with that juju, no matter how things were going when you've won. You hadn't lost a game in a month,
Right.
but now that piece is taken away, I think it's at least worth us talking about here.
and something else that might factor into that, I mean, is that Oz watches him at practice every day. He gets the reports from Creel. He gets the reports from Rhodes. He knows if he's got a nagging injury that we don't know about. I mean, just none of this stuff that I don't know about, right? I don't think it's all I know is I've seen him in the game struggle just like you guys have lately. But if I have no idea if there's anything else that goes into that. I just think it's Pato being Pato. And like I said earlier, I mean, as soon as we feel like, damn it, here he comes, that's when he hits one like 700 feet and goes on one of these tears. So,
I mean, this is a guy. I mean, again, like I said, streaky. Really, all his career. This has probably been, if my memory serves me correctly, this has probably been his most consistent year.
yeah,
production-wise.
another good point. Sure.
And so,
Yeah, a lot more walks.
a lot of it's been a real, like I said, his OPS entering this past week was over 1,000. Like that is really good, which tells you he's taking walks. So, I mean, he's a guy that, like, if he's, hot streak Pato, he hits 3 bombs this week. And
Yep.
Yeah.
And carries you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love
we've
that.
seen him have so many like multi-home run games.
Yeah.
When he starts seeing it, it's bombs away.
Like LSU regional year was his freshman year, was it not? Wasn't that his freshman year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, he hit a couple that week. I mean, so.
I love the comment that Dustin made right there. We've made this argument on the show before. Pilo and I have when people just complain about our runners left on base. She says guys left on base is obviously frustrating to everyone, but it's also it's more likely to happen when your offense is getting more guys on base to start with. Exactly.
Correct.
Like what would you rather complain about? Leaving guys on base or not getting guys on base?
Correct.
So I'm with you. That's very reasonable.
And it's like it gets frustrating, right? When you're looking up second and third, we score 1.
And not all runners left on base are equal, right? So if you have 2 outs and then you get bases loaded and then you get an out, you're like you left 3 on base. Well,
right.
Not exactly like you had bases loaded, then you got 3 straight outs. Either way, you left 3 people on, but one of them is way worse than the other.
It is.
So
but what wins in the postseason? Like, you got to get big hits with runners on, especially with 2 outs. Like, that's going to – like, if we're bad this weekend with runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs, I don't see us having a good weekend. but we're capable, and we've shown we're capable of like 2-out hits win games. Especially with guys on. I mean, if you get a bunch of those this weekend, and again, like you said, they're like one reason why our left on base number has been higher is because we get so many guys on base.
Spinning weather
And
wheel.
so-
Why are TV weathermen never held accountable for their lies?
What?
What?
Nice.
Let me throw something like positive about this whole like topic. So I don't know exactly what the stat is. I haven't looked at it in a while, but there is some crazy stat with Ozzie Pratt that he's had something. I think it's 16 at bat, 16 chances with the runner on third and less than 2 outs, and he's driven the run in 15 times, like 15 out of 16.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I mean,
Which is
there's
Crazy.
in baseball, we always talked about it way back in my days. Get him on, get him over, get him in. There's a million ways to do that.
Well,
And he's one of the guys that will do it any way that he can. Right.
And in my opinion, he's one of the main guys that pulls the ball. I feel like, and I know I don't, I love when guys hit it down, like he's a lefty, hits it down the line, because everybody cheats in. And so it's just, I don't know. That's
And let's just
something
say
I've noticed.
this. Let's just say this: like, how lucky are we to have a guy that hits in the 9-hole like that? I mean, that just tells you how long our lineup is. There's really, like, when we're rolling, there's nowhere to go in our lineup.
Mm-mm.
Get out.
Yeah.
Everybody can jump the yard. Everybody can, like, it's a tough lineup to navigate when we're rolling. Which I kind of mentioned it earlier. I think that, yes, in the past, May and June, our offense, even in more average years, has been its best version of itself this time of year. But I think this year, I mean, we've proven we're an above average offensive team. And it's really, I mean, like I said, when we're rolling, where do you go to get outs? There's not many easy at bats to navigate as you work 1 through 9.
For sure. Agree. Totally. Yep. Hopefully we can get back on that winning streak again, starting this Friday. Pilo, Brian, you're welcome to hang on the line with us. We're just going to do a couple more things and get out of here. But Pilo, for the games this weekend.
Yep.
It rained a lot last night. That hit me I heard it at like 2 a.m, and I was so tired I just couldn't get up and just and look at anything. I was like, I hope our house is okay. But it's this time of year where this can happen. It's a snap of a finger. But what's the forecast looking like?
Incredible.
Yeah, no, it's actually going to be really good. So this week, it's going to be really, really rainy Monday through Friday. Really Monday through Thursday. It's going to be rainy pretty much every day, stormy. So there's kind of a system that's moving through. But the good news is Friday afternoon, that kind of lifts and it takes the kind of hot, humid away. And it's going to be probably the most pleasant regional we've ever had.
Really?
Highs are low 60s, isn't it?
Yeah. The low Saturday is 60 degrees, 60, and the high is only 82. So we're talking super perfect baseball weather.
That doesn't make sense.
It's kind of this extended spring that we've had this year. It's been really weird, but all weekend. Again, stormy Monday through Thursday. Friday, it will clear by Friday night. It's going to be perfect and cool. So, no need for all the fans and all the things we usually have to do during a regional out there. I think it's going to be actually really pleasant.
Well, that is great news because I just about melted in Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery was miserable. It was hot here in Hattiesburg as well.
God, it was so hot. Well, good. That's fantastic. That's all I got, Brian. Is there anything else?
No, I spent Memorial Day weekend at home, which is rare for me. And today the high in DC was 71. Yesterday it was 70. Saturday it was
Nice.
I think like 68. So I'm looking forward to sunburns and sweats.
Well, look forward to seeing you, of course. I hope everything works out with your flight. We know these things can get squirrely sometimes, but safe travels on your way here. And we will see you on, I guess, Friday.
All right, thanks, fellas.
Yep.
See ya.
That's it. Do you guys have anything else? You want to get caught up on a few? If we need to get caught up, I guess since you have the scrolling now, we don't really have to get caught up on any comments.
Yeah, no, we're good. Let's get out of here. It's
yeah,
late.
we will go ahead and get out of here. I'll start off with shout outs. I saw everybody, but I met JB Middleton's dad for the first time.
Yeah, Mr. Byron.
Yeah. I also met Camden Sundstrom's dad for the first time as well over there.
Great people.
Kelly Corey and Margie Jepson. Saw them everywhere. Good to run into them all. Margie wearing a To the Top Talk Magic shirt.
Sweet.
Yeah, sounds nice. And then the last shout out, ticket guys, Tyler Cochran and Jeff Mason. Man, y'all did the Lord's work these past couple days, and thank you for doing that. And thank you, Tyler, in particular, for helping me out because he's just the best. That's all I got.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Serengeti Springs. That's pretty much where I was the entire weekend. I'm already been there 3 times. It's awesome. They made a lot of improvements. It's wonderful. I actually saw Jeff Mason there. I guess what day was that? I don't know. Whatever day that was. Got to said hey to him and then also shout out to Art of Rue and Kyle. It's awesome. Had it for lunch today and tried their jambalaya for the first time. It was actually really good. So if you have not tried that out and you're coming into town, I would highly suggest it. I had the shrimp po' boy today and it was fantastic.
Very good. Sut?
I'll end it. Let's shout out to the USM Burnerverse out there.
Hey.
This week. Get after it. I hate most of you guys, but I love a few of you guys. No, not really. Hard hands. Let's go win a regional.
Let's do it. Hey, this episode was brought to you by the premium light beer Yingling Flight, established in 2020 by the oldest brewery in America. Crisp, clean, refreshing taste, 95 calories, only 2.6 grams of carbs. Pick up some Yingling Flight today, and that is it. Thanks for listening in, whatever day you might have listened. You're on the live. I guess you can listen later, whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J Bailey and Patrick at P Lowry and Trey Sutton at
Trey Sutton 7. You know where to find me.
Yeah, well, I forget. You can follow us on all the social To the Top Talk, and don't forget about the mailbag to the top talk at gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss
to the top.
To the top.
Talk. Oh, here's my sticker.
I could play.
Way mad.